Hey everybody, I'm sitting over here now, so I guess I'm Owen.
Yeah, and I guess I'm AJ.
Hey.
Or more like I don't want to say OJ because that's somebody else. So
Yeah, that's a guy we probably shouldn't talk about.
Yeah.
And a video about killing people.
yes.
We are here to review Death Note's episodes.
Now let's just say this though, we got, including these ones because we haven't reviewed them yet. We got 7 more reviews of Death.
I know.
No,
the
really.
end isn't here.
Yeah, like it doesn't feel.
We have 5 episodes left and like 3 reviews left.
Yeah, so I think what we'll do, since we're kind of looking at this, these will be 3. These will be 3. Now we'll just say this. Maybe depending on what happens, like if depending how try not to be the thin, but depending on how like 33 and stuff goes, like maybe we'll do 33 and 34. But if like we have to watch 35, because like this one we had to watch, like this one we had to watch all 3.
Right.
And then 36 has to be.
Yeah, it's the final episode. We have to make that our own.
Well, 37, but like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
We should make the penultimate episode. It's a video.
Yep.
Sorry, just fried chicken. Episode 30 is called Justice,
and this came out on May 8th, 2007, and in Japan, and then the one we're watching. Because, I guess apparently we only want to watch the English dub version for some reason. Don't worry.
Probably because we speak English.
Don't worry, guys. Like, when we go back through the show, we're going to watch, just to make you guys proud. If we ever watch the show again, we'll watch the Japanese version,
Make you proud.
But the one we're watching is May 18th, came out at May 18th, 2008. And Justice was, like, a really, interesting episode because this kind of, looked into kind of, worldwide what everyone really thinks of Kira.
Right, Kira's much more popular now than he was before the time skip.
Yeah, so I
much
thought
more of a cult following.
Yeah, because they but he's also used as a threat now in a way. If someone gets arrested, it even shows when someone got arrested by the police, he didn't want to give his name out because he knew it would get put into the system and Kira would be able to find it.
Right, and he's terrified. He'd be he'd be terrified the rest of his life if he was gonna get killed.
Yeah, or when he sees people bullying somebody, he they use you say I'll put your name down on the internet, and then they know Kira's gonna find it.
Right.
And people writing messages on the wall Kira kill this person. So it's pretty damn awesome, actually. And then, you're seeing, people kind of, arguing against whether or not, some people really hate Kira, some people really love Kira. We saw it a little bit, originally when Light found the Death Note, because,
Right, but after that, it was more of, focused on L.
Yeah, but now this episode really focused on that.
The next 2 episodes focus on it quite a bit as well.
Yeah. And, the United States is now, even kind of thinking this
backing
way a little
out. Well, they do not agree with Kira, but they say that they will no longer oppose Kira and try to hunt him down.
Yeah, because they're kind of starting to think in a way the world's becoming more.
Not necessarily. I think it's more they're scared and don't want to provoke him.
Yeah. So obviously this is a problem for Neo because or N because now the U.S. was the main thing that was
they
funding.
they were the funders of the SPK.
Yeah, so
but they still decide to run anyway.
Yeah, and Light's obvious. I really like this. It shows the vision of Light. Most cowards, but then when he's thinking to himself, he's happy about it because he's he knows now
now that the U.S. is bowing to him. He's the rest of the world.
Because I think we're the biggest country in the world, correct?
Size-wise,
not population.
No, not size-wise. I'm pretty sure it's China.
Oh.
But we're I feel the most powerful.
Yeah.
I mean that's I feel in most. That's not arrogant to say. I think that's just we're a superpower. So it's,
if the U.S. is backing out of this,
so then it'd be soon China, North Korea, and then every other country would just follow suit.
Yeah. Then we see Mel. We see his face is all scarred up now from the explosion in the last episode.
Yeah, he had snuck into an SBK member's apartment and while she was showering, points a gun to her head.
Yeah.
And he makes her take him to the nearest hideout.
He basically he's just there because he wants Neo to give him the picture.
So Kira can't kill him.
Yeah. Neo agrees to do that, but now Neo wants some information about Kira from, Mel. And Mel agrees to do that because, it's an exchange type of thing. And he tells him about, like, how the, some of the rules in the Death Note are absolute bullshit. Like, they're not real.
And that Shinigami are real.
Yeah. Also tells them, like, there was a second Kira. And this is, like, when you see Neo, like, piece together, like, what rules will, like, possibly could be fake, and then he figures out, like, that, whole...
Yeah, and he's like, the heart attack and controlling the victims is definitely true.
Yeah.
But the 13 days rule is probably not.
Which is kind of, that was the thing that, like, did Ellen. So it's like Neo now... Like, we'll just say this. We talked about this off camera. Even without, like, that knowledge, like, Elle would have solved this case regardless.
Yeah,
like,
he was going to solve it. He was testing it to see if the 13 days rule was true or not, and then Rem killed him.
Yeah, so, like...
I mean, if... For Nier and Mello, like, they're smart, but, like, to be fair, like, Elle had this case, like, 90% solved.
Yeah.
They just need to solve the next 10%.
Yeah, like... Because they're really just going off of, like, Elle's work,
pretty much, yeah.
Neo then calls, like, the task force and pretty much, like, says, like, we know, like, one of you guys is possibly Kira.
Mm-hmm. And Nier's, like, basically saying, like, I think it's the second L.
Yeah. Because I think she kind of puts together, like, why all this, like, how the second L came into pop, like, took over. Like, it took them longer to solve this case. So it kind of is, like, because, like, why not? Because, like, why all of a sudden now, like, when another, like, the first L, like, nearly had this case. I mean, it's not like the American public knew he had this case solved, but, like, Yeah. Like
Nier's like, okay, L basically had it solved.
Yeah.
Now the second Kira, it's taken him 5 years.
Yeah. So this kind of starts to put things into question. And then actually, he brings up and asks, like, which rule you think is a lie. And Light pretty much has no choice but to say, like...
The 13 days rules, because if he says anything else, it'll be suspicious.
Yeah. Then when, he overhears Light talking like a Shinigami, and, like, he even knows, like, the Shinigami's line about, like, how every rule's true. So.
Yeah, so Nier, like, is basically, like, 100% confirmed that someone in that room is Kira.
Yeah.
And
because I don't think Neo can hear him, but, like, he knows, like, because...
Yeah, he can't hear Ryuk, but, like, when Light says, hey, Shinigami, like, he's able.
I really like this part because throughout the rest of the episode, you really see, like, now, like, this task force...
is, like, divided. Like, Matsuda still believes that Light is innocent. But, like, Aizawa and Mogi are a bit more, like, questioning. Because now that, like, Light's incarceration doesn't mean anything. Yeah,
because, actually, no, that ties into the next episode, so I won't talk about that. Then what happens is, like, Light realizes now, like, Nier needs to be eliminated because, like, he's gonna solve the case pretty much, like, with, now that, like, he's working on this 10% stuff. So what he does is he calls the President of the United States.
And he has, like, the voice filter, obviously.
Yeah. I think it's Misa doing the talking, or him. Or
I think he's typing it.
Yeah.
And it just comes out as words.
He, says, like, that you better give me the address of the, because he reveals, like, what's the name of the
SPK.
The SPK is, like, still active, and you better... He basically, like, threatens to kill the President of the United States. If
right, which ballsy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he says, basically, cut their funding, shut them down for good.
Yeah.
And give me their headquarters location.
Yeah. And
we find out why he wants their location later on.
Yeah. So, we also see, too, as all this happened, Shigoku, which is, but I forget that's how you pronounce it, but the, the TV station that, like, really, like, that's, like, Kira's supporter and stuff.
Sakura
TV, yeah. Which is the sponsor for Kira. goes over to the U.S. because they know this is gonna be like a juicy story, and like he's like
Demigawa, who is like the spokesperson of Kira, is saying like it's the new age of Kira, and he's like eager to start reviewing this new case.
Yeah, and he sees like now like everyone's like rioting the
SPK building,
and that's basically like how the episode ends.
Well, actually, it ends with L or Light contacting Nier and like basically mocking him.
Yeah.
And Nier's like, this guy is lying through his teeth, and this is kind of like just huge ego getting in the way.
Yeah.
Like him mocking Nier like this, or like being two-faced about it, basically like 100% confirmed it for Nier that this guy's Kira.
Yeah, and because like Nier even like points together like what a coincidence. The day after, like I say like one of
say anything about the second Kira,
yeah, this happens. I thought this episode was like great.
I think it's really good.
Yeah, like I really think it's a night. You got to see, because one thing we also forgot to talk about is Mel and Neo are like welcoming the challenge of each other to really catch the.
Oh yeah, Kira. They're even like let the race begin.
Yeah, and that's kind of like where their egos are getting in the way. Because if they would just like put their egos aside, they could catch Kira if they
easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because Light seems to be kind of rusty lately.
Yeah.
He's not used to this challenge.
Maybe that's why a lot of people say Death Note like isn't as good.
Yeah, because Light just seems like not as smart as he was before.
Yeah, like maybe because like they have like this much information, but I don't. Maybe that is a flaw. Like one of the. I'm not saying it's a flaw, but like one of the drawbacks of L dying, like Light. Like, I know Light was going to get caught, but, like...
Yeah, like, L kept him on his toes.
Yeah, but now, like, because he didn't have, like...
And also, no one knew about the Death Note before, so he kind of had that advantage. Now that everyone knows about the Death Note, he can't hide it too much.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not... I'll say the episode's a B. I think it's a really good episode.
I give it a B, too.
Yeah, really good.
It's a good episode, but, a couple flaws hold it back.
Yeah. Then we had episode 31,
Transfer, which aired on May 5th, 2007 in Japan.
Yeah.
And May 25, 2008 in the United States.
So this one was a year and 10 days from each other.
Mm.
So this
good job, Owen. You do math.
Yeah. Well, because I didn't see...
you carried the 1 and divided by 3.
Yeah. So this episode, starts off like,
right where the last one off with the people rioting the building.
Yeah. And like Light thinks he has this all figured out because he has Misa like ready watching the Sakura TV station, waiting for
with her Shinigami eyes, like waiting for Nier to show up.
Yeah. And she's happy about this because basically like she just wants to feel like
important, yeah.
Which really sucks for her. Like she's done everything Light's asked.
Yeah, she's totally in like an abusive relationship. But, like, she's kind of of her own accord.
Yeah, I know everyone says like no one deserves to be in an abusive relationship.
Well,
but, like,
Misa's like a killer. So,
yeah. And she's like kind of asking for this in a way. So
okay, well maybe we shouldn't say that. That's
But like she, I mean, she's also in like a no-win situation either, because like Light would...
Right, like no matter what Light does, Misa will fall into the end zone. Yeah, it's not really you can do about it.
Everyone's like gonna leave and stuff, and no, I'm sorry, like everyone's like rioting, and Sakura TV's loving it. And the task force really isn't sure what to do about it. And also, too, it was at this point that, we forgot to say this, in episode 30, like, Neo gave the task force his phone number to, like, for anyone to contact him if they have anything to bring to the table about the Kira case. Because that ties in later. And I believe, like, Aizawa, in that episode, was talking about it with, one of
the other members of the task force.
I forget if it was that one or this one, but...
I think it was this one.
Yeah. So he's like gonna take them up, and Light overhears it too. The riots are happening. Everyone's getting into a fight, but everyone's kind of fighting with themselves too because they want to be the one to It's just if you've seen a riot happen, then you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, these are all Kira supporters, but they're like not organized at all.
Yeah, it's just kind of like the typical American people when it comes to riots.
Well, it's funny because they're Japanese, I think. Are they? I don't know. No, it's American. Never mind.
Because it's in New York. Yeah. Or not California, wherever.
Yeah, I think it was Los Angeles, I think.
And Neo had a good plan for this. Actually, not Neo. L had a good plan for this. So this is still like L, like continuing to one up Light, even though he's not dead. He has a sack full of money just drop out of the sky.
Yeah, and Mazda said that must have been like 10 million.
Yeah. And
it just, the rioters stop rioting and like grab all the money. Sakura TV starts focusing on the money.
Yeah. And this pisses Miso off because like now
she can't see anything. Yeah.
And I really like Neo even talked about this. Like it just showed how predictable people were. Like, you know.
Yeah, a lot of like human commentary on this one, which I think is good.
Yeah, like talk about like how you know, they're lied about this stuff, but then when greed comes into play, then they don't care anymore. Yeah.
And because the SWAT team and police were entering the area, Neo and his men dress up as SWAT members and are able to exit the building successfully. Yeah,
so Light lost this battle. So, and Light realizes too, like he's got to do something too because like he even notices like Aizawa's onto him. Like he knows Aizawa's like is suspicious that he's Kira now.
Yeah.
Because, like, I really like this. Like, you even have, like, that look of, like, exchange when they look at each other.
Yeah, like Aizawa's suspicious of Light, and, like, Light kind of can tell Aizawa is suspicious of him.
So, so Aizawa pretty much took Deputy Yagami's to, role kind of in the task force, pretty much.
Yeah, he's, like, the new head honcho type of thing.
Yeah.
Well, Light is, like, the head honcho, but, yeah.
Well, I'm saying, like, out of the guys in the task force now, and, like, Aizawa's kind of, like, he also doesn't like really want like to really prove that Light's like that's kind of what's holding him back because like that's what made Deputy Yagami like happy when he died. Like that's kind of sticking with him too.
And also he's been with Light for 5 years, you know.
Yeah. So, and then we also know like time's passing because we see like his little girl now who's
he's like 15, 14.
Like,
around high school, middle school.
Yeah, and I kind of like this scene a little bit because like. She's studying for a test, and Aizawa's like saying like don't push yourself too hard, and it's kind of a message that he should have been saying to himself all along.
Yeah,
like
even his daughter's like, yeah, same for you.
Yeah, so then he and we find out Neo is in like a new headquarters now, and the number's still like because he deactivated the number, but then reactivated it.
Yeah.
So Aizawa makes the phone call and like. Tells them about like how at one point
Light and Misa were detained. Well, he didn't say their names.
Yeah, but like 2 of them were.
And how at one point Chief Yagami threatened to kill Kira and himself to prove their innocence.
And Neo like makes the connection that it's the deputy's son because the
most likely Kira's suspect and the second L is Light.
Yeah.
Because the chief wouldn't say, I'll kill you and myself if it wasn't for Light. If it wasn't Light.
So what they decide to do is Aizawa and one of the other guys in the task force, Mogi, are gonna go and Light knows this is gonna happen pretty much. Like he knows like he's...
Yeah, after he's seen Aizawa so suspicious, he knew they were gonna pull something like this.
Yeah, so what he does is he sends he does it right at the office too, like very
openly.
Yeah, but
like very last minute, so like he thought Light couldn't like plan anything.
Yeah. So he sends like Misa some type of message that she had to go on like file 3 to find it and stuff. Like it was pretty smart how he hid this information, and all we see like is Misa just say like she's reading the message, but we don't hear the rest of it. And she says, "I get to be a real wife again," but we don't really know like what she's talking about yet. But this guy Aizawa and stuff like search the apartment. They don't find anything. And you see Misa like is kind of acting normal. So we'll get into that. And yeah, they say they don't find anything, but they're gonna keep Misa under watch and stuff, and Light as well. And then what comes up on the screen? I'll let you talk about this because this is something because you could talk about this stuff now because it's new to you. So.
Oh yeah, what comes up on the screen is Demigawa with his men We're at this part, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Demigawa and his men on Kira Kingdom, which is a TV show focused around Kira. I don't know if we mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
But all of a sudden, his men start dropping like flies.
Yeah.
And we find out that Light had... that the reason that Misa didn't know anything about the Death Note, and the reason why there was nothing in his apartment was because he passed his Death Note onto a worshiper of his that he's researched.
Yeah.
And now he is the one carrying out his will.
Mm-hmm.
And we see in this episode and the next one that they are like super in sync. Like whatever Light thinks, Mikami's thinking like the exact same thing.
And they kind of like touch on it a little bit because like the spokesperson for like Kira was like, you know,
going way too far, and Light was like thinking I gotta get rid of him.
Yeah.
And as soon as he thought that, like, he died.
Yeah, like...
And Misa no longer has her memories, so she's just an ordinary girl right now.
Yeah. Which is cool. And I really liked this episode. This was really good setup, and like this was kind of like finally he finally came up with like a plan again that like finally like worked in a way, like which I really like, because now like Aizawa doesn't think he's kind of cool. Like,
yeah, he's like back to like, okay, maybe Light is innocent.
Yeah, because like he looks like to him
he's still suspicious, but way less so.
Yeah. So, and we find out the name of the new Kira is Mikami.
Yep.
Teru Mikami.
Teru Mikami.
Yeah. So, B+.
Yeah, I give this one a B+.
Then we have the next one, which
episode 32 called Selection,
which came out like a week later from the Japanese and American version. We'll just say that. And the first
10 minutes or so are just Mikami's like backstory.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. So we find out that he hates bullies and stuff, and he hates like scum. He sees like evil as like scum of the earth. And we see like as a kid he would try to stop people from bullying even when he was class president, and
even if he got beat up, he like the thanks he would get from the victims was enough for him. Yeah, but that was in elementary school. As time went on, he felt people got more evil as time went on.
Yeah,
and was like he felt less like accomplished.
Yeah,
whenever he would try to defend people,
and you just see this kind of really proves how messed up he is in the head. Like he would go home on some days, and like his mom being like concerned, like because she's concerned like he's coming home beat up every day. Like it's is this really?
And like to not stand up for his ideals so much.
Yeah, because it's like, is it really worth this? And like he's even like thinking like my mom now is like against this, and what happens is like 4 people like that were like in his class got in a car accident,
and these 4 people were like bullies, like bad bullies.
Yeah,
and got in a car crash, and one bystander got killed in the crash, and that was his mother.
And like he was like satisfied that she died.
Well, I think he was sad at first, but after a while he realized.
Yeah.
Everyone in the class was happier.
Yeah.
When those bullies were gone, and he had no one like opposing him anymore.
Yeah.
So he felt like life was better without these people in it.
And then he even saw like as people got older, like they lived without a purpose, and like they would never like grow up really. They would just kind of stay and act like children, and that's what made him want to become a prosecutor.
Yeah,
which
so
is kind of
send criminals to what they deserve.
And which is kind of like another thing, like this why this was the perfect guy for like to pick. Like he picked a prosecutor now, like who has access to this type of stuff.
Yeah, access to like criminal records.
And then when he saw the Kira cases happen, he looked at it as like some type of god was answering like his prayers.
Yeah. So he starts going to Kira rallies and things like that to hopefully get the attention of Kira.
Yeah.
And eventually he does get Kira's attention because he gets the Death Note in the mail.
Yep. And then we forgot to mention this in the last episode, but because he's in it more now, every time he writes a name in like the Death Note, he says delete.
Yeah, it's like he's deleting bad people from the world.
And it's really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it went to a commercial break, which made sense considering the fact. We should say too, like one thing we didn't talk about is episode like 31. Like it's not like a bad thing, but it actually feels like it's a long episode because like There was a point in the episode where we thought the episode was...
Yeah, it was like only 10 minutes in. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Because it just shows you how much was happening in that episode.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe that's why it's a B+ too. It kind of felt maybe a little
32 also felt like a very big episode.
Yeah.
Which was good.
And Light realizes now that Kira needs a new spokesperson now, so he's got to look for one, which I think Light even says like kind of sucks for him because it's like, he's doing so much shit right now that like...
Yeah.
And
but Mikami was ahead of the game on him on that one and picked a new spokesperson.
And he picked his old girlfriend from college.
Yeah, Light's old girlfriend, which, what a coincidence. That might be a problem I have with this. It's like, what a coincidence that is. That Mikami doesn't even know who Light is, and he somehow picked his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, Takada, right?
Yeah, Takada.
Which, at first Light was concerned about because, like, it's
a connection to him.
Yeah. But, like, then it's like, you know what? This actually works because
it's like why would Kira pick someone he knows, especially an ex-girlfriend?
Yeah.
And like I can get in contact with her.
Yeah.
Now because I do know her, so.
And when he sees like Mikami even reveals like why, like we find out she's like a big Kira supporter too.
Yeah, he had met her as a debater.
Yeah.
And he noticed that she loved Kira.
Yeah.
So they had talked a few times afterwards.
So Light wants to find a way to get in contact with her, but he's got to do it like in a way where it wouldn't be suspicious with the police. So he makes it seem like he's gonna like do it just so that way he can get information from her. And put it back to the police since she's got so much information about Kira. Mm-hmm. So they set it up the whole thing, and Aizawa, because he's still kind of suspicious of Light and stuff, like wants to listen in on the original phone call when it comes to contacting her and stuff like that. And I really kind of like it because Light's like kind of acting like normal, being very discreet about it and stuff. And then when the actual meeting happens, at first when Takana sees Light, old feelings start to return.
Yeah, and Light sets the mood, makes everything super romantic.
Yeah,
there's a model parrot model. I'm having a brain fart. The Eiffel Tower. I don't know. Oh my god, it's brain fart. Sorry. There's a model Eiffel Tower outside.
Yeah,
the room's super dark. He's dressed in a suit.
Romantic music.
Mm-hmm. He's just I've missed you.
Yeah, and since the room's filled with cameras and taps and stuff, Light has to make it seem he's just having a typical conversation with her at first.
And the other guys are what is he doing? And Matsuda's are you guys stupid?
Yeah,
because Matsuda's the youngest. He's
yeah, because at first he thinks Light's old feelings are returning for Light. So, both of them too. So then. This is also way too much of a coincidence too. Of course, Mikami freaking calls,
and she was it's Kira, in front of someone.
Yeah,
Oh, and we forgot to mention the reason she agrees to meet up with Light is because Light called her saying, he wants to talk because they have similar jobs.
Yeah,
and Aizawa still doesn't trust Light, so he was in the room when he talked to her.
Yeah, yeah. And then, Light says, "Oh, okay, answer it." So she answers it, and
when she mentions that she's with an old friend,
yeah,
Miki's okay, someone who wants to meet with Kira's spokesperson.
Yeah.
So he talks to Light, and Light talks in code.
Yeah.
Says 5 pages on July something.
Yeah.
The day he sent the death note. So Mikami immediately picks up. This is my god. This is Kira.
Yep. And Light lies, saying he's forcing him to shut the cameras and taps off. But this is so that way he can really talk to him. And Light reveals
to Takada
that he's Kira, and
that the current Kira she's talking to is his follower.
Yeah, and Takada is kind of happy that it's Light that.
Yeah, she's super happy about it.
Yeah, because they always before the death note, they were always in a relationship with each other.
No, I think they started dating after he got the death note because they started dating when they were.
I'm sorry. I meant to say before the time jump. My bad.
Yeah. Like she says, like you're the only person I ever really like felt a bond with.
So now, like that, he's Kira. Like she feels like they're inseparable, but like, you know.
Yeah, Light's obviously just like using her.
Yeah. So now he says that we're gonna become the new
gods and goddess of the world.
And then Light calls the task force and said that he's gonna pretend to be in a relationship with her.
Yeah.
To gain her trust, which we really know what's going on here. So I guess that's like one of the flaws of the episode is the ending's not really very satisfying. I guess like
I don't know. I feel like the ending's okay.
Yeah.
It's nice to see Light being like manipulative and evil again because I feel like the last couple episodes he's been a little underwhelming.
Yeah, very.
Like he's not thinking things out as much as he should. Like
this is like these past like the end of the last one and the this whole one like he finally is doing, and this is so cool too now because now it's like two Kiwas this time, like it's Light and Mikami who like think exactly alike versus like two L's who think like basically kind of like exactly alike.
Right, like they act differently but they think the same.
Yeah, like it's gonna be very interesting. Like and I'm very interested to see where that goes.
Yeah, so. I give this one an A-. It had a couple flaws and like what the fuck moments.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was a very good episode. I feel like the positives outweigh the negatives.
I think only like 4 more videos or something.
Yeah,
like,
about 4 or 3. So
yeah,
the end is near, guys. The end is near.
So I'll announce it again.
Near.
Yeah, exactly, because Neo's in the show.
Yeah.
But I'll announce it again. Either the next one's going to be 33 and 34 or 33 through 35, depending on, depending on what happens in, 33 and 34.
Right.
Like,
so, that's...
But 36 and 37 are both going to be their own videos.
Right, like the finale and the penultimate episode need to be their own videos.
Yeah, so, now that we've kind of gone through all that, we're done, because I forgot, we don't do no plugs, so...
Yep, so see you guys in the next video. Peace.